Oh, yes. Make it tighter. I like to feel it.
Your car or mine?
Careful, you don't want to start anything that you can't finish.
Don't worry, I won't.
Ooh.
Oh, baby.
Lots of room in back. Care to take me for a test drive?
Lewd conduct in a public place. I could arrest you for that.
Your handcuffs are mine.
I love it when you talk like that. You want to take this indoors?
What for?
Chance of showers?
I'll bring a towel.
All units, 911 emergency call reports possible homicide. 944 Bayshore Drive. Suspect fleeing in a red, late model Chevrolet Corvette traveling west on Windward.
This is L42 on Westward and Bay. L42 has a visual on suspect north on Bay in pursuit. Out. Range check.
There is a tide in the affairs of men, which, taken at the flood, leads on to fortune. Omitted, all the voyage of their life is bound in shallows and in miseries. See, I think what the bard meant had to do with the choices we make. You know, to boldly live our lives as though they make a difference, whether or not they actually do, or to plunge into the darkness and deception of a world defined only by its appetites. Lust, greed, pride, envy, and revenge. where the sins of fathers are visited upon the sons as mere players in a scripted drama with no beginning, no middle, and no end. You all right?
Compared to what?
I wasn't scared, not for a second.
No, me either, no.
So what happened?
I was in pursuit. Homicide suspect in a red Corvette. I'm code 2 through the green light. And driver B came in, blew the signal. Wham!
Yeah, some kid in a Firebird.
He's a kid?
Yeah.
What's his condition?
Hard to say, they're still working with can opener. Chris, maybe you should take it easy, huh?
I gotta see this.
Chris.
Where are you guys taking him?
The nearest ER is Edgewater Hospital.
Okay,
Come on,
let's
give
go.
him...
You drive.
All right. Slow down.
Sergeant Lorenzo, we're gonna need you to take a breathalyzer, just for the record.
Yeah, okay. I'll meet you at the car.
You all right? You
Yeah.
okay? Are you Mrs. Atkins?
Are you the social worker?
No, I'm Sergeant Lance, Palm Beach Police.
Oh, it wasn't Lonnie's fault.
No, I know. No one's pointing the finger, ma'am. We just came to see how he was doing.
Do you have a cigarette?
No, I'm sorry, I don't smoke. Mrs. Atkins, this is my partner, Sergeant Lorenzo.
Ma'am?
You wouldn't have a cigarette by any chance, would you?
No, I know.
Doesn't anybody smoke anymore? What is taking them so long? They said he was hit by a cop. He was going too fast. He was chasing somebody.
I was the driver of that other car. I was in pursuit of a suspect and...
And you ran the light.
No, the light was green.
What is this now? Cover the U.S. time here?
Look, Mrs. Atkins, we're just here to let you know if there's anything you need, really.
Oh, thanks. You know, thanks a lot. I think you've done enough for one day already.
If you could try to understand, I was...
Oh, I understand perfectly. My son Ronnie's in there fighting for his life, and you're the reason why.
Mrs. Atkins?
Yes. Bitch! You know what you've done? You've killed my son! My son is dead! You've killed him! My beautiful son! Oh, God! He's killed him! He killed my son!
You okay?
I keep playing it over and over and over in my head, and I wish there was some way that I could change it.
Chris, you cannot beat yourself up over this.
I can't stop. I'm telling you, Rita, that light, it was green.
I'm gonna drive you home. Hang on just a second. All right, I'll just drop you. Yeah, Sergeant Lance. Uh-huh. Okay, I got it. Yeah, thanks.
What's up?
You know that red Corvette you were chasing? Whoever called it into 911 said they saw it leaving the house on Bayshore Drive.
What about it?
They just found a dead body. Look, I'm gonna drop you off at home on the way. Okay?
Not a chance.
Chris, you need your rest. Look, I'll do the preliminary work and then I'll call you when you're ready.
I'm ready now. No argument, Rita. I owe him this.
Okay. Patrick? Keisha. Hey. How you doing?
Ooh, what happened to you?
I cut myself shaving.
With what, a meat hook?
Let's get down to cases, shall we?
Touchy. Testosterone running
Keisha.
a tad high.
It's a bad day.
Well, it was killer for her. Meet Catherine Carmichael, 29 years old, queen of the castle. Apparent cause of death, single sharp force trauma, skillfully penetrating between the second and third ribs and puncturing the aorta. Very nice, very clean. Real pro.
Who are you talking about?
The guy who did her.
How you know it was a guy?
Well, check it out. Bound to the bedpost, silk ropes, torn panties, on a Richter scale of coitus interruptus. This was a magnitude 10.
So, you telling me that it couldn't have been a woman?
A woman would have been more considerate.
Meaning what? She would have given her a cigarette before she slipped her the knife?
Maybe, but more than likely, she wouldn't have bothered with the sexual stuff to begin with.
Well, thank you very much, Keisha, but I don't remember homicide detective being in your job description. If you'll excuse me.
Rita? Yeah. Can I have a word with you? Woman to woman?
Sure.
You want to fill me in?
Well, the killer left here in a red Corvette. Chris was in pursuit. A young kid blew through a signal and...
Don't tell me.
he didn't make it.
What about semen?
Negative. No calling card. This guy was entirely too anal for that.
All right, Keisha, you supply the dots, we connect the lines. You copy that?
Loud and clear, Sergeant.
Good.
You fixed the time of death?
Well, can't tell till we crack her open for sure, but I'd say 2 hours outside.
1:30, that coincides with the 911 call.
Anything else?
Just a couple of hairs we found in the sheets.
Long and black, huh?
Short and blonde.
That's interesting. Oh, the housekeeper just showed up. I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
You Martina?
Martina Ingersoll.
Sergeant Lance, this is Sergeant Lorenzo.
I keep house for the Carmichaels. You're not what I expected.
Where were you at 1:30 this afternoon?
Driving home from Daytona. I was visiting my cousin.
How long have you worked for Mrs. Carmichael?
I've worked for Dr. Carmichael and his wife for almost a year.
Where is the good doctor?
Out of town. In the Bahamas. I've called his hotel and left word.
All right. Well, we may need you to come in and make a formal statement.
About what?
About your trip to Daytona, your cousin, the whole bit. And you're gonna have to swear to it.
As you wish.
She certainly didn't seem very ripped up about the late Mrs. Carmichael, did she?
No. No, she didn't.
Hey, good morning.
Hey, Rita.
Good morning.
Hey,
Sam. Get any sleep last night?
Then I shut my eyes. See a red Corvette, Lonnie Atkins' face. And I did get this.
What's that?
It's a 911 tape. Listen.
He's killing her. Send the police. All right, ma'am. Try and stay calm. I need your name and address.
No, not me. Her. Mrs. Carmichael. You must hurry. 944 Bayshore Drive.
Ma'am? Ma'am, are you still there? Ma'am?
Martina Ingersoll.
The Ice Queen herself.
Interesting. According to this, the victim's husband is Dr. Everett Carmichael, surgeon to the stars, founding member of the South Coast Polo and Racket Club.
So old money, young wife.
And according to this, she was 29. Her husband was in his 50s.
Yeah, well, what is a prime filler like that doing with an old man?
Hey, watch it.
Well, you know, I bet a 7-figure bank account could cut right through a lot of gray hairs.
Really? Maybe it could help a little bald spot on top. All right, come on, guys. You know the drill.
Cap, what's up?
Long night, huh?
Not over yet.
Yeah, listen, I want you to take a couple of days off. Let your partner cover you.
No, I
Cap,
can't do
come
that,
on.
Kev.
This is not a request, Lorenzo. Your blood alcohol test came back.
What'd I blow?
5 ticks below the legal limit.
Great, that proves I wasn't DWI.
It also proves you were drinking.
Cap, I was off duty. I had 1 glass of wine.
Listen, this is just an automatic internal affairs review. Consider yourself on paid leave until the investigation is over.
You're kidding me, right? I mean, this is like the joke is on me?
You see me laughing, Chris?
Damn. Don't try to dodge this. I got you on tape. You want to hear it?
Not really.
Then you give me the whole story, chapter and verse.
Chris, can I talk to you for a second?
You made that 911 call, didn't you?
Yes, I did, but
But you said you were out of town.
please, I was afraid. I thought, I don't know a thing like this. Maybe they deport me.
You don't give me the whole story. I'm gonna make deportation seem like a trip to Disney World for you.
It's just as I said. I went to my cousin's, but they came home early. The door was open, and I heard Mrs. Carmichael screaming. I was so frightened I ran out and drove to the payphone. I was just trying to help.
When you called 911, you said he's trying to kill her. Who was he?
I don't know.
Chris, wait a sec. Just...
Hands back. Hey, what your hands behind your back? Rita, this piece of garbage is rights.
Hey! If one of my officers makes a mistake, I take care of it, George. So don't be turning that big Irish voice on me, because I'm not your whipping boy. Aha. Fine. Apology accepted. Lorenzo, at your convenience, please.
Yeah, be right in, Cap. You want to see me, Cap?
No, I didn't. As a matter of fact, you were the last person on Earth I wanted to see today. Unfortunately, you've made that completely unavoidable.
So I gather the returns are in from the bus yesterday.
Yeah, if you want to call it that, yeah.
I was a little over the top.
What you did was to completely ignore an IA grounding and to arrest the heir apparent to one of the founding families of this city with no due cause.
Captain's kid was driving a red Corvette, the same one that was reported leaving the scene of the murder.
Then you should have arrested the car. Do you know how many red Corvettes there are in South Florida?
324.
You had no driver description, no license number, you had nothing.
Doesn't it strike you as more than just a little coincidence?
I don't care if Moses stepped off Mount Sinai and said, "Thou shalt arrest Jason Carmichael." We don't do that around here without sufficient ground.
I was wrong. You want blood?
Oh, don't tempt me, Lorenzo. If you'd have taken the time out to act more like a detective instead of a defensive lineman, you'd have discovered that the kid had an alibi.
He said he was with a woman, Kimberly Snow. Lives over in West Palm. I'm checking that out right now.
Checking her out? You're missing my drift here. Don't you understand that Jason Carmichael is out of here with an apology from the commissioner, no less?
Cap, I'm afraid if I don't break this thing, that it's gonna break me.
As a friend, I understand. As your captain, I cannot have you exorcising your demons at the public's expense. You go home and you ride this out. But do not, repeat, do not take any further action on this case. Is that clear? I'm not hearing your answer, Lorenzo.
Hey, you, still able to walk?
Yeah, out of here.
Excuse me, I was told I could find a Lorenzo or a Lance here.
Yeah, I'm Lorenzo.
I'm Dr. Everett Carmichael. My wife was murdered yesterday.
That's a fact.
You're the one that arrested my son?
That's right. While on the subject, you want to tell me what you were doing while your wife was strapped to the bedpost?
I don't care for your attitude.
I don't care what you
Get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of here!
Dr. Carmichael, I'm Sergeant Lance.
Well, somebody better put a muzzle on that partner of yours.
Why don't we, go over here and sit down? Why don't you have a seat? He's going through some personal problems.
Oh, really? Well, whatever it is, I'm sure it doesn't compare to mine.
I'm very sorry about your wife, sir.
Why does that sound like a recorded message to me? Look, please forgive me. I'm just not myself. Everything just seems so unreal.
No, I understand.
I'm sorry. Your message said you had some questions for me.
Yes. Your housekeeper, she said you were in the Bahamas?
I was fishing. I try to take a week every year. I'd ask her to come along, but my wife has never been much of a sailor.
Well, I guess we'll need copies of the hotel bill, your flight information, and whenever you're ready, we need you to come in and make a formal statement, just for the record.
Of course. Is that all?
Yeah, I guess for now.
They want me to come to the morgue to identify the body?
Why don't I walk you down?
It's very kind of you.
No problem. Dr. Carmichael, do you think your wife could have been having an affair?
I don't know. I've been very busy with work lately. I suppose she could have.
You know of anyone who might have wanted her dead?
I wish I had an answer to that question, Sergeant.
Okay. Why don't we get you down? Hey, Chris.
Dr. Smooth have an alibi?
Yeah, he claims he was in the Bahamas.
You get the name of the hotel?
Of course.
We need to check that out, find out what time he checked out of the hotel and what time he left the airport.
I thought you were off of this investigation.
Listen, I've been thinking about that Corvette, yeah? I mean, it was a convertible brown top, that ought to narrow it down. We run it through the DMV records again, see what we can find out.
Chris, you can handle this, okay? I don't want you to let this eat you up.
What do you want me to do? Go to the beach, take a vacation?
No, I want you to go home and let me run this investigation.
And I want you to shake these guys until they fall apart. I'm telling you, that Carmichael kid is dirty, and his father is so greasy, I could oil my car with him.
You need to give yourself some space.
Wait. Not on this one, Sam, I can't. Look, I want you to put a team at Kimberly Snow's apartment. If she shows up, let me know.
Yeah, whatever you say, okay?
Thanks.
What are you doing here? Jason, I ask you a question.
Paying my last respects.
What, to the pool?
Can't we just call a truce, Dad? I mean, at least till after the funeral.
Well, I said a dangerous precedent.
You're a heartless bastard.
Yeah, you bring it out of me. Since when did you get a tinker's damn about your stepmother?
Since when were you ever here long enough to notice anything about anybody?
Were you here yesterday?
You sound like one of those cops.
According to them, she knew who killed her. You left in a red Corvette.
You know, I just did this dance downtown, Dad. I don't need to do it again.
If you had anything to do with this, I'll see you in hell.
I got news for you. We're already there.
You know, if it weren't for your grandmother's trust, you'd be on the street.
Better there than here.
Oh, such a sad day. Thought you might like to share your sorrows over something cool?
There's nothing left I want to share with anybody here.
Such a difficult time, huh? Let me take care of you. Just relax.
Team. I have to be at the hospital in 20 minutes.
Oh, don't go.
So, meat grinder, huh?
I've seen worse.
Yeah, we should talk.
I'm all talked out, Cat.
Okay, then just listen. I've been thinking about your situation. You know, the wine, the accident. I just want you to know that I've been there.
Well, you don't drink.
Anymore. There was a time I could put it away with the best of them. Had a beer with lunch, a couple of cocktails, bottle of wine with dinner. After a while, that stuff
Wait,
catches
hold on
up
a second.
with you.
I had one glass of wine with lunch. You're making it sound like I got a drinking problem.
That's not up to me to say.
What made you stop?
Garden shears.
Sounds dangerous.
We used to have a hedge. Notice, the key word in that sentence is used to.
And what happened?
It was a hot afternoon. I had a couple of beers, all right? So Franny says, go, trim the hedge. So I got out the garden shears. Drink a little, I trim a little. Another little drink, another little trim. Before you know it, the woman is screaming at me.
Uneven.
Does the word bonsai mean anything to you? So right then and there, I knew I had a choice. I could either drink or I could work. I couldn't do both. The price of alcohol is the complete loss of control sooner or later.
No amount of truth is gonna bring back Ronnie Atkins.
Draw yourself a line through the past. Give yourself a second chance. I want you to know, no matter what happens, I'm in your corner.
Thanks, Cap.
Hello.
You again.
Well, you know, I just can't seem to leave a murder alone.
Dr. Carmichael's not home.
That's good. Then we can speak privately.
And actually, this is a very bad time. The police have left everything such a mess.
Look, we can talk here or we can go downtown. It's your choice.
Come in.
Thank you.
Can I get you something?
Yeah. You can start with your green card.
I don't understand.
Well, we were here the other day questioning you. You seemed extremely nervous about being deported. However, since then, I've been to the INS. You have a permanent work visa.
Yes. So?
So, you obviously have something else on your mind, don't you?
I was just very upset about Mrs. Carmichael.
You know, do me a favor. Why don't you cut the Heidi Act? It insults my intelligence and it makes you look guilty as hell.
Guilty of what?
See, that I haven't figured out. But you are hiding something, aren't you? I know it and you know it. So you can either tell me now or you can call your lawyer. It's your choice.
It was just as I said. I came in, I heard the screaming, and I called 911.
And?
Mrs. Carmichael had unusual appetites. There was only one lover who could satisfy her.
Give me a name.
His name is Jason Carmichael.
Why are you here?
I came to pay my respects, ma'am.
This is a wake for Ronnie's family and friends, not for his killer.
Mrs. Atkins, I would give anything if I could make this whole thing go away.
My son is dead. You killed him. Now you're here looking for what? Forgiveness?
Ever heard of knocking?
Yeah, well, I've been out front doing just that the past 5 minutes.
Well, you found me. Now, what do you want?
Need you to answer a few questions.
How did I know you were gonna say that? Drink, Sergeant? That's right. Of course not. Cop on duty, all that.
That's right.
You know, it's too bad your partner can't live by the same code.
You know, you're a real charmer for a drunk.
How you think so, huh? I always thought I was kind of mean-spirited. Tell me something, Sergeant. Is there anything that turns you on?
Yeah, you know what I really get off on? Busting mean drunks. Why don't we cut to the chase? The housekeeper said you were sleeping with Mrs. Carmichael.
It's hysterical.
Yeah, well, the county attorney's office doesn't seem to think so.
Well, here's a little news flash for you. Martina hated Kitty, always did. When Dad said he was bringing home something from Sweden, we thought he meant a Volvo. Or maybe you didn't pick up on the fact that she and dear old Dad were playing doctor. Don't you see? She's pointing the finger at me to take the heat off herself.
Or vice versa.
You know, you're starting to bring out my mean streak, Sergeant.
You hold that thought, will you? Yeah, Sergeant Lance. Really? No, actually, I would like to tell him myself. Thanks. You were saying?
Nothing. Nothing at all. In fact, if there's anything else, talk to my attorney.
You can count on it. Oh, thank you. So you don't answer the phone anymore, you don't answer the bell, and you look... Actually, you look pretty good.
Well, see the other guy.
What's going on?
Well, consult my therapist.
Would you like to talk?
No, I'm sorry, Sam. I'm all talk. Why can't I get a handle on this thing?
Talking about the death of a 16-year-old boy. It goes against the natural order. Old people die, kids don't die.
They're waking him today. I stopped by to pay my respects, but his mother wouldn't let me in. She still sees me as the cop that murdered her son.
Yeah, but you don't, right? Right? Look, the longer you play judge, jury, and executioner with yourself, the longer it's going to take to get past this.
I hear the word Sam.
Look, it was an accident. Was the light green or wasn't it?
The light was green. It was green.
Right, so it wasn't your fault, Chris. You had the right-of-way. Ronnie Atkins blew through that intersection. You could have been dead instead of him. You've got to have to let yourself off the hook. IA already has.
What do you mean?
That's why I've been trying to reach you. Captain called. He said Ronnie Atkins was driving with 2 prior DWIs. He had a suspended license. IA cleared you this morning. Welcome back.
Thanks. I'm gonna go grab a shower.
All right.
Then you and me, we're gonna get some butt.
Yeah, whose butt would that be?
We'll start with the guy in the red Corvette.
Wicked bitch in the north.
How dare you?
Oh, it's easy. I open my mouth up, the words come out. Seems like yours has been working a little overtime.
Get out of this house.
What is wrong with this picture here? We have the servant giving orders to the master. I think that we ought to just take and nip this one in the bud. Told the police that I was swimming in Kitty's water bowl. That's a bad idea.
Stop it!
Jason! Let her go.
Ah, big shot. See what's in the old chamber. Of course, if Kitty was right, it'd have to be a blank.
Don't you come any closer.
Don't worry, Dad. Kitty was a happy little girl as long as she had me to keep her that way.
You miserable little bastard.
I knew you didn't have it in you.
I've got to get out of here.
Martina, don't leave me in there.
I don't need
Martina! Martina. We have to stick together.
The ship is going under, Everett, and I don't plan to be on it when it does.
Where's she going in such a hurry?
Store.
Must be a fire sale.
Well, I assume you're here for more than just snappy repartee.
Oh, a little parry and thrust before we drive home the point, I think.
I don't have time for this.
So why don't you try this? You were having an affair with Martina while your son was sleeping with your wife.
I won't even dignify that with an answer.
Don't have to. We already had the statements. You gotta admit, gives you and Snow White one hell of a good motive.
Not to mention the surgical precision to commit the murder itself, which puts you, Doctor, right in the spotlight.
I was in the Bahamas. Why don't you call the hotel?
Oh, we already did that. They confirmed you left the next day.
Well, then why are we having this conversation?
Because, good doctor, that doesn't mean that you couldn't have entered a jet, flown back here, done the deed, and been back in Nassau in time for dinner drinks.
Sergeants, you are reaching for the wind.
So why don't you give us something else to reach for? Someone, anyone, Doctor, who might have had a motive to kill your wife.
Because it's not my job. It's your job. So I suggest you get out of here and do it.
Think we ruffled his feathers?
Yeah. I think we rattled his cage.
Good to have you back.
Thank you.
What are you doing? Don't. Why are you doing this?
School's out, baby. It's playtime.
This isn't funny, Jason. For God's sake, will you stop? Oh, God. This isn't funny, Jason. For God's sakes, will you stop, please? Police!
Off my bed, Hal. You're under arrest, up against the wall. What, again?
You can't break in here like that. We haven't done anything wrong.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't this guy trying to put his cigarette out in your navel?
You know, this may be a tough concept for you, but we're just playing a game here.
But we're not.
You Kimberly Snow?
That's right.
Where were you last Monday, 1:30?
Wait a second. What is this, about checking my story?
Nobody told you you could move.
Kimberly, tell them.
I was right here with him.
Case closed. Now hit the bricks before I call a real cop.
You gonna testify to that in court?
Of course she is.
I'm gonna give you one more chance to shut up.
Kimberly, don't say a word to them. My lawyers are gonna
That's
eat these
it.
guys for lunch.
Tilt, you just earned yourself a timeout.
Would you please tell me what this is all about?
Well, we're trying to establish Jason's whereabouts at the time his stepmother was killed.
What? What happened to her?
She was playing a little game, Kimberly, kind of like you and Jason just were, with her wrist tied to the bedpost with a silk rope just before the killer stabbed her through the heart.
Oh, and you think Jason did that?
Car identical to his was reported leaving the murder scene. What? What is it? You're hiding something from me, aren't you?
Nothing, no. I was with him the whole time.
And when I find out what it is, you could be charged with accessory to murder.
It's the truth. He was here only...
That right there, what was that?
It was supposed to be a joke. A friend of mine paid me to bring him here. I picked him up at a bar, I brought him home. All I had to do was drop the keys to the car outside the door.
What for?
So when he got up, he'd think that someone stole it. It was supposed to be funny.
It's very funny.
Anyway, when he got up to leave, the car was right where he left it. He just thought he left the keys in the ignition.
Who paid you to do this, his father?
No. Her name's Martina Ingersoll.
It is amazing how fast they clam up when their lawyers get in on the act, isn't it?
Yeah, well, at least we got enough to get a warrant.
Can you believe how loudly that Carmichael kid was screaming?
He was busted and released twice in 1 week. I'd be screaming, too.
Well, he ought to be arrested for attitude alone.
Oh, really?
Yes.
You know, if that were the case, my friend, you would have been a jailbird a long time ago.
No. See, on me, it's subtly charming, don't you think?
At times. This happening to be one of them.
All right, you know what? Let's run the whole thing. Well, this Carmichael kid, he is playing house with his stepmother. The good doctor, he's digging in at the smorgasbord, and Martina, she hires her friend to keep Jason busy.
And that's when the doc hops a flying fish out of Nassau.
We run this by Martina. You think she'll sing?
I think she'll bring the house down. Look, why don't you make a right up here on Admiral? We can head up that way.
No, I'm not gonna let this corner beat me for the rest of my life. It's like it happened a second ago. It's all I can see. All I can hear. It's metal on metal.
I know this is really hard for you to hear, but this will go away.
Maybe I'll always see that kid's face. All that blood.
Chris, it was a tragedy. There's no denying that. It was a terrible tragedy, but it was not your fault.
I know. I'm not gonna let this thing beat me.
Good. Well done, Sam.
Thank you, Sam.
No. Look, I want the CDs broken up and I want the funds transferred to the Bahamian account. I don't care about the interest. Just do it. I knew you'd come back.
Well, there's no place I'd rather be.
We're going to take a little vacation, you and me.
What about the police?
Not enough room on the plane. When we're gone, they won't know where to find us. I have more than enough invested offshore to keep us in style for the rest of our lives.
Oh, but why should I leave Everett? When I have everything I need right here. I wonder, what would it be worth to you to keep me from telling the police that you murdered your wife?
Is that a threat? Remember, you helped me. Don't think I wouldn't take you down with me.
Oh, I don't think you can. All I did was pay a girlfriend to sleep with your son. I had no idea you were going to murder your wife and frame poor Jason. And since it happened, I've been living in fear that you would kill me too. Now I can be very convincing.
So can I?
He's got something in his hair.
Got him.
Thank God you came when you did. He was going to kill me.
Save it for your lawyer.
On your belly. Yeah, hands.
You want to do the honors?
I would love to. Listen up, I'm only gonna say this once. You have the right to remain silent. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. Let's go, Doc.
That's terrific. Great, Bob. Yeah, you know what? Just do me a favor. Keep me posted. Okay. Thanks.
Hey, Sam.
Hey, guess what? Martina is down at Donovan's office with her lawyer, and she is singing so loud they should book her at the Met.
Surprise, surprise.
Also, I ran a check with the private charters out of Nassau, and guess what?
You found the pilot who flew Carmichael in and out the day of the murder.
How did you know that?
What else could it be?
Well, how about this? Pilot's coming in right now to give us a statement.
Chalk one up for the good guys.
You okay?
Yeah. They buried Ronnie Atkins today.
Ah.
I went to the cemetery, but I didn't go in. I guess they don't all end happily ever after, Sam.
I'm sorry.